Hey, what's going on YouTube? Nick here to talk about episode 6 of Peacemaker called Myrn After Reading, which is basically a direct takeaway of the Coen brothers movie Burn After Reading. Great movie, by the way. There will be spoilers, but you should probably know that by now if you've seen most of my videos. And I have to say, this episode of Peacemaker has probably been the best episode through 6 out of 8 episodes so far. There are quite a few Easter eggs in this one where Peacemaker meeting the Flash, and also not really meeting Wonder Woman, but knowing of her, right? So I think it was the week before that he makes some jokes about Superman and having a bit of a shitty situation. That's a terrible joke for me. But overall, I think this episode really started to go a little bit more into the plot of things. I think the one thing that we all got answers on from the week before was that was Myrn going to, take care of Adebayo after she used Peacemaker's helmet that has his X-ray vision in it, and actually, rather, take care of him or rat him out to the rest of the crew. And of course, he says in the rain that he's not going to kill her or anything like that, and to get up. And then it's not soon long after that Harcourt comes, and she says that she's known for a while, and she kind of put the pieces together on her own. And then also that Economos knows, and so the only two people who don't know are Peacemaker and Adrian, aka Vigilante. And I kind of thought at one point that information would be spilled to Peacemaker, but because Peacemaker's character is very erratic and can also overreact and doesn't really know how to process information that's given to him, especially right there in the moment, that he would probably almost try and kill Myrn. But at the same time, we learned a little bit more. I think overall the acting in this episode was really well done, especially from the likes of I'm gonna mispronounce his name so bad, Chukwudi Iwuji. Hopefully I didn't botch that too much, but he did a great job this episode, especially when it was displaying the new information that we really got of when being a butterfly that takes over a human vessel, that they still remember that humans' memories. So he says that Myrn was not a good guy, and we can tell by the association of Captain Locke, who is not a good guy either. And they've got this history that's not good, but in the event of displaying that he could have changed and become good, that this butterfly in Myrn realized that, much like he realized that the initial plan of the butterflies, their home world was gone, so they came here, and then the idea was to live, but that they wanted to take over, and that Goff was essentially in charge, and that they followed a queen, which I guess kind of makes sense, but that he was like the exile, the heretic that really wanted to speak up and essentially just not follow the plan and wiping out humans. And of course, it kind of makes sense as to why he's ordering peacemakers to destroy a plant full of them, right? Like he's not upset or anything by his own kind being killed at the hands of his team. And that also Amanda Waller doesn't know too, which is also pretty interesting too. And again, I think for the sake of what's going on with this story, like there's this alien invasion, the incident at Peacemaker's home with Vigilante, which was hilarious. You kind of have the feeling that they were going to get caught, especially when the police has swarmed them. You've got the Evergreen Police there, and Detective Sophie Song essentially bites the dust because Goff has now taken over her body. That process is quite vicious, a little bit gorier than I thought it would be, but I was like, oh no, we are definitely seeing that happen. And of course, Locke shows up and kills the other officers to let Peacemaker and Adrian escape, and which kind of brings us to the part of the whole police station and the inmates being taken over. And I kind of thought about it for a moment too. It would have been pretty interesting if Augie Smith, Peacemaker's dad, was still in prison when that happened, because then you'd have a butterfly that would have gone in the vessel of Augie Smith's character as the White Dragon. I wonder what that would have changed. If anything, it might have alleviated an issue that Peacemaker will probably soon have in the next episode or two, or if there's another season, don't know. But I will say, for the sake of where the story is really pushing the actors, where it's essentially leading the last two episodes to, is just the events of Sophie makes a call via computer in their native alien language, with all the weird symbols on it, and then they've all come in their ships, they've all taken over, and then like, I have to say, one of the coolest parts of that scene when they're all walking down the police station, and they're all like obviously got blood on them because of like the process of taking over, like the alien face hugger, right? And entering the mouth of our human bodies, to the extent of them trying to learn how to smile, and they're all like I'm sure that looks creepy as hell of me doing it, but yeah, it was kind of funny though. Like, especially the guy who plays Locke had this like just crazy Joker like face and of a shape to him. And then the inmates, just again, overall pretty damn crazy in this episode. I would say, for the sake of through 6 episodes so far, this was probably my favorite, just because for the extent of it being an episode that tells us more, it gives us more answers, it furthers the development of characters. There's still a lot that is to be known from a couple of different stances, especially that whole diary of Peacemaker's, which he clearly didn't have and was planted. But even in the diary, it says that there was an alien race, alien invasion to come, in which I want to know where that really came from, if there's anything else to it. And I wonder if Adebayo is going to actually tell Chris that she planted it and it's her fault, or maybe it's Amanda Waller's fault, or both of the faults. And things seem to be getting a little bit more interesting between Amelia and Chris, because there's that moment in the police station, or sorry, not police station, in their headquarters, that they say goodnight to each other. So, she doesn't see him as 100% asshole, just 85%, I think she said. So again, I think there's some interesting development there between them, and it'll be pretty interesting to see where that goes in the next episode, and of course the finale when that happens the week after this. So overall, I'm probably going to give this episode maybe maybe an 8.5 to a 9, somewhere within that, because I think most of the episodes I've given about an 8, so maybe a 9. I might extend this to a 9, just because I do think this is sort of like the high mark of everything that sort of happened, and just the grotesqueness that we got in the aliens, the butterflies, right, and Locke's dead, White Dragon's going to probably come out and do some crazy shit. And the actors were great, characterizations were good. Again, I look for story development, character development. Does the plot make sense? And I think James Gunn does a pretty good job with dialogue, character development. Whether you like his style or not, that's just sort of a moot point, and just deciding whether or not it's actually good. In which case, yeah, I think this is a pretty damn good show so far. And the pent up penultimate episode coming this week. I'm curious to see what it extends to, and then what the finale leaves us with. Hopefully, James Gunn can deliver a nice 1-2 punch here in the 7th and 8th episodes, just like he did here with the 5th and 6th episodes with Monkey Dory and Maroon After Reading. So hopefully you all enjoyed this episode as much as I did, and if you didn't, well, I apologize, and maybe you'll enjoy the last 2 episodes. And if you have a certain rating that you'd like to state, whether you liked it or not, or you thought it was not good, maybe it's a 5 out of 10 to you, or maybe it's a 10 out of 10, who knows. But leave your comments below, and see you guys soon in the next video. Cheers. Or I should say, peace out.